to this tree. Let me put it right. All right. Yes, is it good? I am your host, Raymond Mutuku. It is 22nd of just all right. So the 2nd of May, 2026, and I'm very happy to be here. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Yes, if you're new to this channel, feel free to be part and parcel of our. Is the camera okay? Yes, to be part and parcel of our streaming, and I'm very happy to be here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was actually watching the case of the nephew of Rigathi Gachagua, and that's a very interesting case because somebody mentioned this story to me and told me that this nephew of Rigathi Gachagua was framed and is in prison because, of course, of it was some kind of a scheme to get him in prison. And while I was looking at the facts that facts that were just available, I came to realize that that story is I was given actually not the whole story. All right, let me take let's continue. Oh, so I was saying that story, I was not given the whole story. I came to realize that this man in question, called Jackson Kihara, had cases from the year 2013, and all of them of robbery. I was watching that case right now, and all these cases were cases of robbery. In fact, the case that was being heard today was a case of robbery with violence. He stole a car and they choked the driver. So I was very surprised. I started asking myself, what has that got to do with the DCP party leader? Because somebody was arguing that to me, that Rigathi, I don't know, is a bad person because his nephew is in prison. So I'm like, okay, how can you blame Rigathi Gachagua for something that the nephew is doing? If he engaged in criminal activities, that has nothing to do. Every person is every individual is an entity, as their own. You cannot say that. The Bible says, that is in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, that it says, the son shall not bear the iniquities of the father, and the father will not bear the iniquities of the son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wicked shall be upon him. All right, that is Ezekiel 18:20, and I will repeat. In fact, I will tell you offhand. The Bible says that the father shall not bear the iniquities of the son, and neither shall the son bear the iniquities of the father. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. So you cannot say, oh, it is this person who was fixed in prison. Oh, Rigathi Gachagua fixed the nephew in prison. That's fake news. That is fake news because you can see very clearly that he had a history even before his father died. That is from 2013. Ndiritu Gachagua died just the other day. And even when he was arrested, people don't really have the facts. When he was arrested because of robbery with violence, which involved a car, and they strangled the driver, what has other people got to do with that case? Sometimes I'm really, sometimes I ask myself questions because if somebody, because he claimed in the courts that he was being framed, I was like, really? Framed by who? He was framed, but it was not. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this individual had a history. He was not a first time offender. He was not a first time offender. Then he started claiming that the IO, the investigating officer of that case, was the same. It was the same person. So, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of reasoning is flawed. That kind of reasoning is not true. Well, every person is every person has to be accountable for themselves. You cannot say, I cannot say that somebody, if I somebody else is responsible for my shit. Everybody should be. You cannot say that this nephew is suffering in prison because Rigathi Gachagua wants to do what? Wants to take his inheritance. I think that argument is. I know that is the kind of argument that they want to to. They're pushing that kind of narrative. They're really pushing it because it's not the first person who told me that. Everywhere I went, people would say, "Oh, Rigathi Gachagua, is wants to disinherit the children of Nderitu Gachagua." But also, when then it sparked my interest, and I said, "Okay, let me just go through the case files and see. Maybe I'm the one who is not informed." So I went and I started doing my homework because I think you guys, everybody, you when you used to be in school, you did your homework, right? So you come to realize that the gentleman, let me call him a gentleman because he's very gentle, but that the fact that he speaks very softly does not mean he's actually, he used violence, to obtain goods. And ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the law, there's no two way about it. And it's like when you say the individual, for example, if you're caught with a stolen car, for example, if you're caught with a stolen car, how can you explain it? How can you say that my lord, I was not aware that this car was stolen? But whose responsibility is it to know? Whose responsibility is it to know? Is it the police who stop you in the roadblock, or are you the one who's supposed to do due diligence? Whose responsibility is it to do the due diligence? So you cannot say that I was given this car by my friends in courts and I did not know that this vehicle was stolen. You know, there are so many people in our court system or in our punitive system that will be jailed for more than 10 years because of that particular issue. You know, you have been accused of handling stolen goods. You're handling stolen goods. So you see, you cannot claim. You see, like right now, I cannot claim that I cannot go to court and say, my lord, I did not know that these goods that I had or that were found in my possession was stolen. You know, there is no person in the world who's going to believe that you were not aware that those goods in your possession, you know, you were handling stolen goods, or you were found transporting stolen goods. That, ladies and gentlemen, in Kenya, that you go for more than 10 years in prison. Just the fact that you're handling stolen goods. You know, the fact that you're handling stolen goods, in fact, if there is something that is going to imprison you very quickly in Kenya, in fact, the only thing that can imprison you quickly in Kenya, I did my research, is found in possession. You're found, you know, you're possessing stolen property, or you're found in possession of stolen property. You see, the property itself will bear witness against you. Are we together? You have been found in possession of stolen property. So that property, you know, will bear witness against you. So if you're found, you know, in fact, uh, whether you're transporting or you are assisting people in the transportation, or you are aiding or and abetting, you are helping them in monetary or in material support. You know, there's two types of support. There's material support. Material support, let me explain, because you see, uh, in, you know, material support. Do you know what the meaning of material support? Material support, it means you're giving them uh, advice on how to steal. You know, if for example, I'm giving people advice of how to steal, or this is how you're going to do. I'm like the one telling them which places to go. That is offering material support, right? You're also part of you're an accomplice, or you are helping them. You're lodging them. You know, also you say, oh, this is my friend, because you're giving them you're accommodating them. For example, somebody came with a TV, and because maybe you wanted to watch a movie, and you're not, unbeknownst to you, you're not aware that that particular electronic was stolen. So, handling of stolen property will earn you 10 years in prison. Same thing to robbery with violence. And I was listening to his argument that the sentence was harsh, that he was given a 20-year sentence, you know, in prison. But I was like, okay. Um, but you see, what I'm trying to refute, ladies and gentlemen, is that, you know, you cannot uh, really get yourself out of that mess. That's a big mess. You know, that's a mess. You know, you cannot get yourself in that kind of a mess. The things that in Kenya, for example, in our punitive system, the things that can really put you behind bars for a long time. Number one, statutory rape. Statutory rape, ladies and gentlemen, can is very serious. Is a very serious case, and you can go for more than 10 years in prison. And most people, in fact, in our punitive system, majority of them are there because of defilement, and not only defilement, but defilement. Those are the majority of the cases: defilement, robbery with violence, or found in possession of stolen property, and or being an accomplice or an accessory to crime, or you are aiding and abetting that particular stuff. So I was listening. That's why I said I'm going to start with that uh, uh, case. It's a very interesting case, because I know tomorrow we'll go somewhere and somebody will tell me, the nephew of Rigathi Gachagua is in prison, and you're here saying that Gachagua is a good man. I've never ever said that he's a good man. I'm just saying, so you say, Gachagua, he's not truthful. I'm not saying he's a truthful man. He calls himself a truthful man, but sometimes he just exaggerates or takes things out of context. But on the case of the nephew of Rigathi Gachagua, that one I will tell you for free. The case is that's you cannot say that somebody framed you. Oh, they framed him so that he can be out of the picture. And I think that is not true. As much as I would really want to believe that, but ladies and gentlemen, that is not true. All right. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy this wonderful morning. Let us continue reading. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman requested the court they should give him bodyguards to go and bring the documents. And I don't know whether I don't know whether the court gave him. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is very simple. When it comes to robbery with violence, and the court establishes that there was malice aforethought. You planned for it. There was element of you were prepared for it. You were even armed in the process. Then in that particular situation, then it means that Rigathi Gachagua has been acquitted from all the allegations that were laid before him. So when you say, ladies and gentlemen, that he was framed, yet he was prepared to commit a crime. I think when I looked at it from all the angles, when I looked at it from every plausible way of looking at it, I think that when I just looked at every angle to that argument, because sometimes, because this individual argued with me with a lot of conviction that this man was implicated and he was fixed in prison. And I at that time, while I was trying to talk to him, this, because he was also with a company of other people who are really anti and they're really against Gachagua. They won that argument. But I want to reply to this channel and tell them that go and check the facts, go and look at the facts, go and take that file of Jackson Kihara, go and check all the files, go and see the crimes he committed. He was not a first-time offender since 2013, even before his father, before even the demise of his father. Now, it's 2026. He has a proven criminal record, you know, and not maybe for a span of 10 years. And now, what he is claiming is trying to use that as a bargaining chip. I think that is not relevant to our to the argument. It's not relevant. That particular thing is, when you look at its relevance today and how it affects the politics of the country, I don't think it is quite relevant. It is irrelevant. Something, and when you are trying to argue your case, one of the things that you really need to talk about is relevance. Relevance. You know the meaning of the word relevance? How is this relevant? How is this relevant to the case? Because uh, it's one thing to state the facts, but it's also another thing whether the fact is relevant to the case. That is why somebody can object and say, you know what, how is this relevant to 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 the argument? Are we together? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. And the problem is I also have a very bad cold. You even can hear my voice. We'll just read for a few minutes and I will be on my way. Any questions up there? Feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions? That's why I always tell people the importance of relevance. All right? Whatever argument you have, it should be relevant. It should be relevant. It should be relevant to, uh, so, say, somebody say, oh, I know him since 19, that's the problem with Kenyans. They want to say, they want to push, their argument. Oh, this man, when he was a DO, he stole, I don't know, food. So I said, can you be relevant? He said, can you be relevant? You see, the argument, all these arguments were number one, they were lacking in relevance. So when you tell me about Rigathi Gachagua stealing relief food in 1986, how is it relevant today? And maybe was he arraigned in court? Some of these things that, why are you bringing it up today? Are we together? Any questions up there? Feel free to subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Of course, when you're caught on the other side, of course you look for somebody to blame. Of course, when you're caught by the hook, you will start looking for somebody to say, oh, it's witchcraft. Oh, I don't know, it's a generational curse. I don't know. Some of these arguments that are not even true. They're just, make beliefs and hearsay. But, you cannot argue that way and say that, even that time, they went to that petrol station. They obtained CCTV footage of the carjacking. Now you start claiming that Rigathi Gachagua he conspired against his nephew that in totality is just a falsehood, because there is CCTV footage of him hijacking the car. So when you tell me, for example, if for example I decide I decide to be, to engage in robbery, whether the fact that you can come from a good family, but you can also decide to engage in robbery. Do you understand? Yes. So if I engage in a robbery, for example, today, will I start accusing my uncle or some of my uncles? Oh, this uncle, we were never friends, so it must be him. Yet I am the one who, number one, I am the one who sat down, came up with a plan of robbery. But since I was not successful, or maybe something, of course, there's no perfect crime, something went wrong. That's the problem with people. When they plan something and something goes wrong, then definitely you start saying, oh, I was supposed to. You see, and that's the problem with Kenyans. You start saying, oh, I was supposed to have a big business, but something happened. That is why I engaged in robbery, which is, to me, not a good argument, is it? Any questions after that, feel free to be part and parcel of our streams. I'm very happy this morning to be here. So let us continue reading. At the end of the day, somebody must understand that when it comes to your life, do you know the meaning of your life? When it comes to your life, nobody, and I mean nobody, is accountable for you. And that is something that people should understand. And you say, oh, nobody. So everybody is supposed to give an account. So, this young man, nobody should, I cannot start saying, I want so and so to help me with my life. If my life, let me say it in Kiswahili, kama maisha yangu imenishinda, wacha niweke na Kiswahili ndio muelewe vizuri. Kama maisha yangu imenishinda, si maisha yangu imenishinda, wewe uweze nisaidia. Si ni kweli? Sasa kama yangu imenishinda, mimi mwenyewe siwezi, I cannot manage myself. If I cannot manage myself, how can you manage me? That's a very simple logic. Ama si ni kweli? Yes. But if I can manage myself, then I can say, oh, by the way, I need you to help me to manage something. But number one, I cannot manage myself. How can you come and sort me out? You see, yes, I cannot put myself in order. How can you put me in order? Yes, that's a very simple logic. No, it's very simple, because you see, let me tell you something. They cannot blame Rigathi Gachagua. The nephew cannot blame Rigathi Gachagua. The responsibility of putting your life in order is a personal decision. So you cannot say, I cannot even go and start telling my relatives or uncles or any other person that they're supposed to put me in order. No. Nobody's supposed to put you in order. Every person is supposed to put themselves in order, and to be cognizant of the fact that your life is your responsibility. Am I namna gani? Yes. So I cannot start saying I am reckless, and when things go south, I start saying my dead grandmother. How can you blame your dead grandmother for something that was in your control? How can I start saying this is a curse from my dead grandmother? Your dead grandmother has nothing to do with you. All right? So you cannot start lying to people that I was watching another program, and another person was in a program called it's called Itugi TV. I was actually watching Itugi TV, and so this case came up with a young man who used to take money from the company, going to bet or taking the money to Aviator. He took money from different companies, and you see, he said that he could not pay because apparently he was not feeling well. Now he says that he's extremely sorry, that that it was not his intention to do what, to bet the money, because he used to take the money to Aviator. It was not his intention to gamble the money from the company. And I started asking myself. So instead, he said a lot of things. He said that where he comes from, I don't know. Maybe there's something that is pursuing them, or maybe something that is against their destiny, or stuff like that. And I said, you know what? That's just an excuse. That is an excuse, because you knowingly, transferred the money from the company to your own fantasy. So how can you claim, ladies and gentlemen, that there was a hidden force that was driving you to make such decisions? I think that is not true. That is you're being caught in between the lie, and so he says that he came up to the TV so that people can forgive him. But you see, when you when you take money from an individual, and that person can press charges against you, and that person has the power to take you to jail. That's not because he's a bad person, but you see, sometimes people want a retribution. Not everybody wants restoration. The people who are interested in a retribution. So if you make any crime, or if you are culpable, you need to understand that there are two types of justice. There is retributive justice, and there is restorative justice. So if this person wants retribution, he doesn't want you to pay back the money. That person wants retribution so that you can go to jail. Does that qualify a person to be a bad person? Does that, when somebody says that they want retribution, does it mean that they are bad? No. So this person went to Itugi TV. Of course, Kenyans felt pity for him, because he was very genuine. He said, I took the money from the company, I put the money in Aviator. Within 3 hours, I lost 100,000. I didn't stop there. I went again. I borrowed money from my friends, took the money again, put it on Aviator. Within 3 hours, the money was gone. He was very frank. But now I felt that he, in fact, he testified against himself, and I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Because he went to Itugi TV and he gave a testimony of how he, number one, misappropriated the money from his employer. He was on TV, and he gave an entire 3 hour testimony. I was like, you guy, you're testifying against yourself. But you see, now if his employer decides that, you know what, I don't want the money, I want you to go to prison, as that is the employer on the wrong? Of course, he said that he wished things to be different, that it was not his wish, there were some forces that were at play. But I said, as long as you have gone to, as long as you have misappropriated funds, I don't know whether we are together. As long as you have misappropriated the funds, any questions up to there? As long as you have misappropriated funds that belong to a company, then that company has, the right to seek retribution, whether the company has money or it doesn't have money. And if, number one, you are implicated in a robbery with violence case, whether that man has money or not, if that person can press charges against the individual, it's within their legal right to do that. It's not a question of, um, you know, uh, you know, I hope you have understood what I'm trying to say. And I'm very, very, it's very interesting because I've talked about it for 37 minutes and I forgot. Any questions? Feel free to be part and parcel of our streams, and I'm very happy to be here this wonderful afternoon. And that is one thing about the law, because um, you know, I know mostly people who are found, number one, with in possession of stolen property. Most of them go to jail claiming that they were wrongfully, they'll say they were wrongfully charged. The sentence was maybe too harsh. But you see, the thing is about handling of stolen property. Uh, it's a very harsh, it's a very harsh penitentiary system. Any questions after that? Feel free, you can ask me. Your question. Subscribe and comment. Any questions? You can ask me your questions while you're here. And I'll be more than happy to can ask me your questions before we begin. Any questions up there? And for example, when you say an individual can actually take you to prison because, number one, maybe they felt that they needed, do you understand? So when you say, this guy can fix me. Any questions after that? Feel free to be part and parcel of our streams, and I'm very happy to be here. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Let's continue. I want to be here for a while, so it's because I'm feeling very tired. Jeremiah chapter 2. The word of the Lord came to me, go and proclaim to the hearing of Jerusalem. This is what the Lord says. I remember the devotion of your youth, how as a bride you loved me and followed me through the wilderness, through a land not sown. Israel was holy to the Lord, its first fruits of his harvest. All who devoured her were held guilty, and disaster overtook them, declares the Lord. Any questions up to there? Feel free to be part and parcel of the stream, and ignorance is not a defense. You cannot go to court and say that, I was found in possession of this property, my lord, but I was not cognizant of the fact that the property was stolen. As long as you have been caught in possession of, I don't know, there's somebody who was explaining to me the difference between, in possession of, I don't know, and there's a, I don't know whether it's in possession. You've been caught in possession. Let me see the difference. You've been caught in possession of. Yes, that means you've been, to be in possession of, it means having ownership, control, physical commodity, custody of an item or information. It typically implies responsibility for that object, whether it is a physical item, a digital file. Oh really? Wow, that's... Any questions up to there? Yes. Be in possession of. All right. Any questions up to there? And if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Did you enjoy our streams? I'll just be here for a few minutes, then I'll be on my way. You can ask me your questions while I'm here. You can ask me your name while I'm here, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. You can ask me your questions while I'm here, and I will answer your questions. Any questions? You can ask me your questions before I leave. I don't know, I'm feeling a bit tired today. I need to go and rest. My head is heavy. And I have a very bad cold. Any questions up to there? You can ask me your questions before I leave. I'll not stay for long. Okay. So tomorrow, I'll come back when I'm fresh. Tomorrow, let's continue. Alright? Tomorrow, alright? Arrivederci, arrivederci. Arrivederci, amici. Alright? Okay. So tomorrow, I will be here maybe we'll cover what we haven't done today, because today I'm feeling very, very tired. Alright? Arrivederci.